Welcome, Ticket Squad, and we're getting ready to finish up another year of the Oscars with this final prediction video. While some categories above the board feel likely to be predictable, remember Oscars sometimes has surprising moments nobody can predict. How many Oscars can Oppenheimer win? Who has the leg up for Best Actress? And what films will be shut out of an Oscar win? It's time to find out. One more time, we will take a look at the handy dandy roadmap. Like last time, we'll start with the shorts and work our way down to Best Picture. Let's start things off with the shorts. For animated short, there's the possibility the short 95 Senses or Letter to a Pig takes the Oscar, but I'm going with War's Over as my projected winner. The blend of its unique animation, John Lennon tunes, and the messages of war is bad, peace is good, and chess is life should be enough to carry the day. Over in documentary short, it's definitely a packed field. I think you can make cases for the ABCs of book banning and Nine and WIPO, the former being a fascinating look at books being banned from school libraries over in Florida, and the latter being a charming tale of the director's grandmothers. And there has been some talk about how they had themselves quite the time over at the Oscar luncheon that all the nominees have. But I think the Oscar will go to The Last Repair Shop, a documentary about four people who work at restoring musical instruments for school children who might not otherwise have one in Los Angeles. Although it might have suffered from occasional emotional manipulation, it is still a solid look at the backgrounds of those who work for the shop and those children who are the recipient of their hard work. Finally, in live action short, there is a heavy favorite by the name of The Wonderful World of Henry Sugar, which is based on a Roald Dahl short story, and it was directed by Wes Anderson, who's still looking for his first Oscar. I do predict he'll still be waiting, as I don't have him winning on March 10th. If it was as simple as directing a short, then Alfonso Cuarón would have won last year for La Pupille. But it's not that simple. Instead, I'm going to go with a timely tale of a woman's search for an abortion doctor in red, white, and blue to prevail. Alright, now it's time to tackle the other Best Pictures. For Best Animation Feature, it's been a two-film race. In this corner, we got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the sequel to the film that won 5 years ago in this category. And in that corner, we have The Boy and the Heron, the first film in 10 years by revered director Hayao Miyazaki. The Boy won the Globes and BAFTA. Across won the Producers Guild Awards, the Critics' Choice Awards, the Annie's Top Prize, and the Eddies. As much as I'd like to see them honor Miyazaki by giving him a second Oscar, I think it may have to wait for his next film, which he now announced at Toronto. I got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse winning here. For Best Documentary Feature, the door to the Oscar opened wide when Favorite's American Symphony, and still a Michael J. Fox movie failed to make the top 5. I think they will pick the timely documentary 20 Days in Mariupol, a film about Ukrainian journalists who report the atrocities done by the Russian army when they invade their country, as I think it's that film that will win the category. And in Best International Feature, the only suspense is more of a what if at this point. What if had France nominated Anatomy of a Fall for its entry instead of The Taste of Things? Would the film had gotten multiple nominations, including Best Picture, and it made the field here? Regardless, the Oscar is going to the Zone of Interest, which did get a few nominations, including Best Picture and Director. Next up will be the audio categories. Let's start with Best Sound. Both the orchestral music of Maestro and the incidental noise of the Zone of Interest might argue the cases, but at the end of the day, the Oscar will go to Oppenheimer, which is the first time we hear of this Christopher Nolan film, but it won't be the last. Next up is Best Score. And considering how Ludwig Göransson has won every award precursor available, It's a no-brainer to say that this is heading towards Oppenheimer as well. Finally, for original song, it's down to the two Barbie tunes. Don't worry about vote splitting for that one. It didn't hurt City of Stars when it won for La La Land in 2017 when it faced four other songs, including one from La La Land as well. We're going to go with the Grammys pick for Song of the Year, which was What Was I Made For Barbie. This marks Billie Eilish's second Oscar before she's 23. She's kind of making the rest of us look bad who don't have things figured out just yet. That concludes the stuff you hear in the film. Now it's time to tackle the visual categories, the stuff that you see. We will start with cinematography. And it's another category where Oppenheimer won all the precursors. It would be foolish to bet against them here. For costume design, we got a real race here between Barbie and its stylish outfits and Poor Things, their more outlandish ones. They split all the precursors heading to this prediction. It's possible that one film can sweep this and production design, but I got a feeling they'll be split. If that's the case, it's possible that I should have gone the other way. But I will go with Poor Things winning costume design. In film editing, it's kind of telling the Anatomy of a Fall and Killers of the Flower Moon couldn't beat Oppenheimer anywhere. Why? Despite it being just over 3 hours, many people argue it never felt that way. It kind of feels like another mortal lock for Oppenheimer. Makeup and hairstyling looked like a category that was a mortal lock for Maestro, particularly its transformation of Bradley Cooper into Leonard Bernstein. But just call it a hunch. I think Maestro's momentum is sinking and Poor Things is rising. The one category that Bradley Cooper Netflix could count on this year was this one. But in an upset, I'm going with Poor Things to take the Oscar. The work they did on William Dafoe was breathtaking. Once again, Barbie and Poor Things are in a tussle for an Oscar in production design. Both films spend a lot of time and effort on coming up with sets that wowed. And I wouldn't want to sleep on Oppenheimer either. They won the Period Piece category in the Art Design Guild Awards. Plus, this film is going to do better and solid at the Academy. They are going to have to steal a category or two they're not a heavy favorite on. This is where I think Barbie will be favored to win, as the film transits from fantasy to reality in the same way Barbie does in the film. Last but not least, we got visual effects, which will be a bit of a grab bag here, as the Critics' Choice Awards went with Oppenheimer and BAFTA went with Poor Things. Neither one got nominated for an Academy Award in this category, however. Among the 5 that did get nominated, 2 films cleaned up at the VES Awards. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 grabbed 2 awards out of its 5 nominations, and The Creator went 5 for 7. Although The Creator might have gone bust at the box office, many raved about the effects in the film, which looks impressive, but despite its budget being only $80 million. And as much as an interesting story as it would be to see Godzilla -1 win, I think the smart money is on The Creator prevailing. We're going to go from what we see on screen to the dialogue that the characters speak on screen. The screenplays are next. For adapted screenplay, we have a mess for adapted screenplay. Somebody called Marie Kondo. A lot of people think that Oppenheimer could take the win here, but why hasn't it won anything up until now? The Globes, Critics' Choice, BAFTA, the USC Scripter Awards. Oppie went 0-4 there, which makes me think they don't have a chance. Maybe they're thinking Oppenheimer is going to sweep. Well, unless Emily Blunt wins a shocker for Best Supporting Actress, a broom won't be necessary and a sweep isn't going to happen. It doesn't mean that they won't have a good night in the 10th, but I think we can take Unprecedented off the table, unless they do some unexpected damage in the below-the-line categories. Then there's the unknown factor, Barbie. That film does hold a Critics' Choice Award for Original Screenplay. They also had a Golden Globe nomination and was nominated for BAFTA and the Writers Guild Awards. All under Original Screenplays. To be fair, there is just that one category for the Globes. They lost the Globes and BAFTA to Anatomy of a Fall, which is up under original screenplay. You can thank or blast the Academy for putting them under adapted, but the X factor is they haven't gone in adapted against the field. Plus, there is the initial outrage at Greta Gerwig not getting a nomination for Best Director, who of course was behind the script as well. So maybe there might be a take of, well, let's honor Barbie that way. Now let's talk American Fiction. They didn't get a Globe nomination, but they did win the Critics' Choice, BAFTA, and USC Script Awards under Adapted Screenplay. They faced everyone except Barbie. But I think it's telling that Fiction won the BAFTA award against two films the British awards show really liked, Oppenheimer and Poor Things, and two British films, The Zone of Interest and All of Us Strangers. I think the momentum is clearly with Cord Jefferson's film, and I predict American Fiction takes the Oscar here. Now, let's get to original screenplay. In the early going, it looked like it was going to be Between the Holdovers, a film that might have had a sleeper chance at Best Picture if it could win here Best Actor and Best Supporting Actress, and Past Lives, which followed a similar path to last year's Women Talking, which won Adapted Screenplay among its two nominations. Guess what the other nomination was for? But then Anatomy of a Fall prevailed at the Globes and at the BAFTAs. The one film to beat it? Barbie at the Critics' Choice Awards. And they're in the other category for the Oscars. As a bonus, they can honor Justine Treat, who made the field for Best Director, but almost certainly won't win. I predict Anatomy of a Fall wins Original Screenplay. Now we're going for the written words, the actors who portray the characters on screen. If the Oscars occurred a month ago, we'd be talking about how Paul Giamatti finally broke through to win Best Actor after a career of highlights thanks to a series of likable speeches. He won a Golden Globe and a Critics' Choice. Momentum was on his side until the BAFTAs weighed in. And more tellingly, the SGAs. Paul had won 4 previous time. Lead in 2005 for Sideways, supporting in 2006 for Cinderella Man, lead in 2009 for John Adams, and lead in 2012 for Too Big to Fail. Obviously, the latter two were in the TV category, but he did not win either award. Both went to the person who I think wins Best Actor. Cillian Murphy, best known for his role in Peaky Blinders and playing the Scarecrow in Batman Begins. His performance in the titular role in Oppenheimer has given him series momentum, which I think leads to an Oscar. As for Best Actress, it was largely a two-person race in the beginning. Emma Stone for Poor Things and Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. Both got Golden Globes for their performances. Emma got the Critics' Choice and the BAFTA Awards. Lily got the SGA trophy. A similar situation has developed to last year between multiple Oscar winner Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh. Perhaps history repeats here? One thing is different though. There's a third party who actually has a puncher's chance, I'd say 10% or so, of pulling off an upset. Although it would have been nice for Sandra Howard to win something, Globes or BAFTA, multiple sources, including Variety and Hollywood Reporter, indicate that she is doing better than expected. I don't personally put a lot of weight in anonymous ballots. It's like trying to predict who wins the presidential election from one tiny county in Virginia. But it's duly noted that she was tied with Stone and Gladstone from the ones that have been counted so far. Once bitten, twice saltburned. Somebody else can take the credit if Howard pulls a UMBC Virginia or an FDU Purdue type shocker. Yes, those are 16/1, considering March Madness is a thing apparently as well. I'm going to stick with the SJ winner, Lily Gladstone. Congratulations. For Best Supporting Actor, it's pretty clear who's winning this one. Although Ryan Gosling and Mark Ruffalo have their supporters, Robert Downey Jr. has claimed the precursors that matter, and his narrative is well known as a guy who rode high in Hollywood, only to crash down thanks to personal demons. And he cleaned himself up, made his comeback in the Indies, and then it led to Iron Man. And I think he finally cashes in here, considering he's a likely winner for Best Picture. As for Best Supporting Actress, it's been the property of one person this entire time, winning all the precursors in the hearts of everyone with her speeches. Divine Joy Randolph will win the Best Supporting Actress Oscar, one of the things we can absolutely guarantee here. All it's left is Best Director and Best Picture, and let's start with the director. Speaking of sure things, Christopher Nolan has been in control of this race since the beginning. It's well known that it'll be his first after 5 failed attempts. Best Screenplay for Memento, Best Picture and Screenplay for Inception, and Best Picture and Director for Dunkirk. And spoiler alert, it will be the only win he gets on the 10th. And last but not least, Best Picture. When I started looking at the Oscar race months ago, I feared that this was going to be another Power of the Dog, a film that was a front runner until they found something with more heart and feels to reward. I'm perfectly aware that this was a mammoth hit, one they needed after Tenet underperformed. But that one speech in Mank tells it perfectly. Does it hit you in the head and the heart? I kept looking for other contenders to step up and challenge. Killers of the Flower Moon, Barbie, Poor Things, The Holdovers, American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall. But for some reason, nobody got close as a challenger to Oppenheimer. They've been on cruise control since the Critics' Choice, and barring an absolute shocker, Oppie will win Best Picture comfortably. Let's take a look at the Oscar winners, and this is my projected feeling as to how everyone will do. As you can see, Oppenheimer leads the way with 8 wins for the night, which would put it somewhere in the neighborhood of... Give me 1 second here. I apologize. I was trying to find something useful here. Here we go. Maybe this will help here. All right. Yeah, in other words, it's going to be a film that ties with Slumdog Millionaire, Amadeus, Gandhi, Cabaret, My Fair Lady, and On the Waterfront, and From Here to Eternity, and Gone with the Wind. With 8. I got Barbie and Poor Things both winning 2 apiece. And a bunch of other films getting 1. Getting shut out entirely, of course, are Past Lives, which had a whopping 2 nominations, and Maestro, which had 7. All right, and that should do it. This concludes my look at the Oscar predictions for 2024. What do you think? Do you have any films to root for? Are there any films you're rooting against? Leave your comments in the section below. Pound that like and subscribe buttons and be sure to spread the word. Ticket Squad, as the booth is now closed.